this huge giant zit. So
That's right. Use it. Use it as your motivation to be great.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Talk Around Austin. Yay!
Good afternoon. Happy Sunday, everybody.
Happy Sunday. Happy Thanksgiving month.
Yeah.
We have a special guest in the back, Peggy
LaFay.
Yay, we're Peggy LaFay. Awesome stuff. So this is our time to showcase Austin's greatness. The good thing about this episode, in my opinion, is that we have two Austinites in the vehicle.
That's right.
Yeah, she's an
Two
Austinite.
unicorns.
Yes, two, not just one. So you're seeing two for the price of one. Not the price. You're not charging for this. I'll edit that out. Okay, so anyways, so you have two Austinites here. And Peggy, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Born in 1968 in a shack on the 38th and a half is my birthplace area.
East
Austin.
East
My cousins
Austin.
would say it wasn't East Austin because it was right across from UT, but I disagree with them. I was on the east side of the interstate, and I love my city.
You love your city, yes. So technically, your city is a little bit of, you said East Austin, but it's also a little bit of some part of Texas, right? Then you said that you were born and raised in another part of Texas?
No, I was born and raised in Austin.
Okay,
but Mama's in East Texas.
Mama's in East Texas.
And
Okay.
Daddy's from Elgin.
Okay, Elgin, Texas. That's east
Yeah.
of Austin. Good barbecue.
Good barbecue.
Some of the best, in my opinion. Better than Lockhart barbecue. What do you think?
Debatable.
Debatable.
Debatable? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
What's so good about Lockhart's
Well,
barbecue?
it's not just one place. There's multiple places. So sometimes it's good. Sometimes others are better.
I like Elgin's better.
Bias.
I'm biased to that. Okay, so right now we have just left a great place. The place is called the Breakfast Bar, and actually it's owned by the guy. Go ahead.
The same guy who owns Red Rooster,
Red Rooster.
and there's a few of them around town. Even one in San Antonio.
Yes, he's building one since.
I know. He's creating like a whole restaurant empire.
Yeah.
And it's delicious. They have frozen mimosas.
it's not called Red Rooster.
What is it
it's called
called?
Rolling Rooster.
The Rolling Rooster.
Red Rooster is in Harlem.
Actually, they can see it right there. They can see it kind of right. Well, they can't see me pointing, so why am I doing that? So,
The Rolling Rooster is the name of the place.
yeah, the Rolling Rooster is the name of the place. Let me start driving. So Keon, you're not the special guest anymore. What's been going on with you?
So I'm not special. Okay.
Well, you're not even
You're special.
You're special.
But,
Forget both of you. So what's been going on? Just normal things. Work. I have not officially given up on dating for a while, but I have had my my bubble burst a couple times, so I'm just tired.
I'm surprised you're tired of that.
Dating? Oh.
It's exhausting and expensive. 'Cause I find myself, especially if I'm the one who invites.
But why are you paying for that?
Well, if I'm the one who invites, because
You're the
the
one
reality
who
is I have to be, a lot of times I have to be the one engaging.
But do you have to really
You
do
don't
that?
have
though?
to, but that is good form. That
Yeah,
is.
like you invite me somewhere, you should
Yes.
be willing to. I mean, I don't need you to cover me, but if you're inviting
Yeah.
me, it means you're gonna take care of it.
Exactly.
And I'll reach for the.
You do the dance.
I do the dance. I reach for the ticket. What are we doing? For me, most times it's like, oh, we're splitting it. Oh, okay.
But you know what? But that kind of is also the problem.
yeah.
My thing is, I had this conversation with Morris the other day, is if I'm looking and I'm like, wow, I'm the one who's always initiating. I'm the one who's always pursuing. And I know people like to be pursued, but honestly, I'm dating men. So both of us can be, and not being sexist,
I'm
but my
dating
thing
men
is,
too, and I
But-
still have to split the check.
but the reality is, and it's not necessarily the check part, it is the actual of initiation, asking to do things. So if I'm the only one that's ever saying, hey, would you like to do blank? Would you like to have dinner? Would you like to come here? Would you like, whatever it may be, if I'm the only one that's initiating, that's a problem, because there is someone that I thought was going in a direction, but they're never the ones who actually say, would you like to anything. It doesn't have to be anything specific or special. Would you like to go for a freaking walk? Great.
So how many times do you get to that route? I mean, let's say the first time they don't do it, is it okay? And then do you say, okay, let me try a second time. Let me see if they at least want to do something the second time. How many times do you go through that with that one person in order to say, it's a kibosh, it's not what I want?
Well, that's too. I think you're asking me too. So there's if I'm the one who's asking, and they're like, no, I can't, no, I can't, no, I can't. That's a different story. What I'm talking about is if they never actually ask me out. So in other words, even if we have been seeing us, it might be a couple of weeks, maybe a few instances,
Okay.
but I'm the only one that's actually nutting up and saying, hey, do you want to do something? Because that, and it is kind of nutting up because you always have that opportunity for someone to tell you no, which
Okay.
sucks. But if I'm the only one that's actually putting that out there, initiating, that's a problem. Because my thing is, if you want to spend time with me, you are going to make an effort, which means you are going to also initiate. Now, the other side of the coin that you're talking about is if I'm asking and you're constantly like, no, I can't. It's like, okay, well, and I understand there are reasonable situations where people can't meet up with you or can't go on a date, drinks, whatever it is, which is perfectly fine. But my thing is, if I ask you and you never have an alternative, like I say, hey, can you go out tomorrow? Can you go out Monday? No, I can't. Okay.
Well, that's it.
Then that's it. Okay. Well, is there an alternative? Well, how about Wednesday? Or because for me, if there's someone I want to spend time with, it's like, oh, if it's something that's not limited to that. Hey, you want to go for a drink? Oh, I can't tomorrow, but how about on Tuesday after 7? That's what I'm going to do. And I think I do put that expectation on other people, even though they may not realize that's the
And that can be a little aggressive, though.
What do you mean?
I mean, if I'm the person, if you're the person that's saying, okay, so if you can't do it on this day, let's do it on this day, and you're not necessarily giving them the option.
No.
I think
They
you
need to be
misunderstood.
giving an
They
alternative.
would give you, I can't do it this day. I have something planned, but I am available on this day.
That's
Well, no,
exactly what Peggy says.
Hold up a minute. If you think about it, if you're inviting me out, and you're telling me, okay, let me make sure I'm on the same page. If you're inviting me out, and you want to see me, and you're wanting to see me on a dating aspect, you're saying that the other person should say, I can do it on this day?
If they're not available on the day they suggested.
So if I say, hey, Morris, you want to go to dinner on Tuesday? And you say, no, I can't. How about on Thursday? That's the expectation.
That's the
But if
expectation,
I
okay.
say, Morris, you want to go out on Tuesday? And you say, no, I can't. And it's just kind of like that. Not just for that, but for all other instances. It's like, that means you really don't want to spend time with me.
I get that all the time. I get, hey, no. I'll just live with it, personally.
And as a female dating a man,
A cisgender, all the words, all of the
whatever.
pronouns.
The thing is, I don't ask. I'm traditional, so I expect to be asked out. I expect to for them to say, kind of give a game plan of like, what do you want to do, and a date and a time. That's what I expect. Now, that's not what I expect all the like after the initial, but I expect them to do the initiation because I like to chase.
Come on.
And I don't like to chase. It is a weird thing for me. But then it gets to a point where if I do continuously ask you, and I'll ask you twice, after that I won't ask anymore. I don't. I have a pride thing, and I
So Peggy,
won't do it.
So Peggy, I got to ask you this question related to his question. If the man says, hey, let's go out and do this, do you actively say, I can't do it this day, let's do it another day?
If I can't do it that day.
Okay. Well, I mean, I didn't think that.
Because if I want to spend time with somebody, it's not the quantity of time for me, like I said before, it's the quality. And if I don't have time, if I've already got some obligation, and it really depends on how, is it like a last minute thing, or is it something that's, a little further in the future? Will depend on if I'm available, because sometimes I am, and then sometimes I have other plans, and I don't want to negate my friends and not be courteous to them because I want to go out on a date with this guy. I just need him to be understanding that, my life does not begin and end with him.
That's amen.
And that it is, even though I want to spend time with you, you also have to understand I also have other obligations in other relationships, because I don't want to drop. I did that when I was younger. Dropped everything, did everything, and was right there. And it got me to be 51 and single, living with a roommate and 2 cats.
Okay.
Got me
Two
nothing.
barn
And
cats.
nothing's wrong
But
with
you know
that.
what? But that also does go with friendship as well. And we're not just talking about. I mean, I know it started with dating, but that's friendship also. Because I know sometimes Peggy will ask, "We want to do this," and I'll be just dead tired, and I'm just like, ugh. But you know what? I haven't seen her in a week. I'm going to. It's like, no, I need to spend time with my friend. Period. Because my thing is, you either want to spend time with me or you don't.
Yeah.
Regardless, we all work. We all have other obligations. Because we all have friends that have, families and multiple jobs, and they still make the time for you because they want to spend time with you.
Yeah.
Period. Because what happened the other day with somebody, it was a combination of frustration from people who were like, well, I'm just going to chill today. So instead of being around me, you'd rather be on your couch, which is fine because we all have those days. But
Or someone says, I don't do things on the weekdays.
yeah, I've heard that too.
Good.
And that's a problem.
You ain't gonna do nothing on the weekend.
At least not with me.
So-
I mean, I get that the weekdays are busy, but I'm not asking you to go out and be out till 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm just asking, hey, you want to grab a bite to eat and hang out till about 8 o'clock, and then you take your old ass home and get in your bed with Shaw and or an Afghanistan. Not an Afghanistan. Not right.
And Afghanistan. Okay.
Okay, so we're turning into a political.
Yeah, that is not what I meant. I meant Afghan.
Afghan. Okay.
Or an African, whatever.
But the same thing, or even like Peggy. I was like, oh, I haven't talked to Peggy in a few days. I need to call her.
Yeah, and he called and we talked and we had a good time.
Yes, that's all it is. Every relationship has to be worked on both sides.
Yeah.
Every relationship has to be nourished. Everything has to be fed. And for me, like we were just talking about love languages, all that. But for me, it's not just physical touch, but also time. And if you don't spend any time, especially if you're close, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So in the restaurant, we actually did a test or did a quiz on love languages, and there's a book that's been out for several years about love languages, and they have like 5 different love languages, and one is like acts of service, one's of touch, some of the others are money, gifts. So we actually did a test, and actually you had acts of service, right, Peggy? You had acts of service. And I always thought acts of service meant that you're providing service to the other person. But in her case, acts of service meant that she wants the acts of services. She appreciates it more, the acts of services. Mine was physical touch, which I'm kind of confused on that one. But that's what it said. But mine was physical touch.
That means that when someone talks to you that you feel close to, that when they put their hands on you, you feel more connected to that individual.
Okay.
It's just the same thing. If somebody does something just because, or do it because it's easy, like simple, take the trash out or mow the yard, and I don't have to ask them, then I appreciate that more than a gift.
That makes sense.
Or them giving me a hug or telling me, "Oh, you look great," but that doesn't go as far for me as actually doing something for me.
And mine was physical touch as my top one, just again off of a random online quiz, but I also highly coveted quality time, kind of like what I was talking about, spending time.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just watching a show, but I will be touching you while I'm watching it.
Because you're a pervert.
That didn't sound right, did it? But no, like even when I sleep, if I'm dating someone, when we sleep, I'm hot nature too, so I'm always hot. So I might cuddle for about a good 5 minutes, but then get away from me.
But then you just got a little touch.
Just one little touch.
Right there.
Like I literally.
Do the same thing. I do a little touch, just a little something, just so that I know you're there. I don't need to lay on you because I'm hot, because I have hot flashes, because I'm old. But, it's...
Okay.
But it's just a challenge. I think here in Austin, for both the gay community and the cisgender straight community, everyone's always looking for that next best thing, which can be a frustration.
Yeah,
maybe that's where my frustration is, because there's so many outlets and so many new people coming in town that you
me. I wish I could have been at 22 stuck, not necessarily stuck, I want to say in a relationship and built on that relationship. I wish I wasn't that person that said, ooh, this guy's cute, or this guy's cute, or this guy's cute. Let me try to get with all of them. I wish I could have started off at a younger age saying,
But-
let me be committed at that.
So
Keep
I'm going
me
to back up
personal.
and give an example of some friends who've been committed since their high school years.
Yeah.
And now they're struggling because communication has changed.
Uh-huh.
And so it's the damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Pretty much.
Sometimes it works. It's magical. Sometimes, and I have the same example where friends who've been married for 27 years met when they were in college, freshmen, and they've been together this whole time. So it depends on the person. Will
Yeah.
depend on how it all pans out. And so you can't, because if you were in a relationship and then 20 years later you're 40 and now that relationship ends, you're gonna go out and play like you did when you were in your 20s, and you're too old to be doing that.
Well,
It's not a good look, because I also have an
I-
example of that too, someone that I know, and so it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Okay.
So
Well,
I think it's
I guess-
I
each
respect
person.
that.
I just look at it like this. I'm not going to be in a relationship just for the sake of it. I'm not going, I can't, what is the, from Whitney Houston, I know she's not the best example
I would
of
say
that,
this
but
is.
I'd rather be alone than unhappy. Because
agree.
I'm not going to, just for the sake of having someone, hold on to someone who does not give me time, doesn't respect me, doesn't love me, or talks to me inappropriately, all of those things, or doesn't engage me in their real life.
But don't
And
you
that's completely unacceptable.
Okay, but don't you think that the older you get, the harder it is because you're settled in your certain ways.
Oh, yeah.
So it's harder for you to build because you know who you are. You know who the person you are. So the older you get, it's kind of like saying, like an old dog, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. It's kind of like saying that. I mean,
Well, you do get settled in certain ways.
and so if you get settled in certain ways, how are you going to build that relationship with that person if you're set in your ways?
Compromises.
Well,
The same way.
But compromises goes both ways, though.
It's complimenting. This person and you both like to take, like the example, the couple that I said that had been together since their freshman year in college. They every day they take the dogs for a walk and they talk about their day and they do the things that they do because that's what they do. And it's the same thing with any other relationship. Friendships too.
Yeah.
I'm set in my ways, but I'm still open to a new friendship. I'm still open to a new relationship.
Yep.
And if that person compliments me, and that person and I have a lot of similar morals and core beliefs, then we should be able to get along fine.
Yeah.
And yeah, I may be weird and have my peculiarities. That's a big word for me right there.
Peculiarities.
But I think that it doesn't negate. I mean, they're the strangest people in the world, and they're just as happily married as they can be. So I believe there's still somebody's out there for you. But I think in Austin, it's because it is a very young community, and because speaking from my point of view, men have a lot of choices. So if you don't bend over backwards, and again, this is just my perspective, and do everything and to appease them, they go find someone who will.
Yeah.
So for me, I definitely much rather be alone than unhappy.
But and I get where you're coming from, Morris, to a degree, but if I'm looking for someone to complete me, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
Because if I need to know who I am before I can pair off with someone else. I need to know a lot of things about me. And I get what you mean by when you're in your 20s or whatever, you're a little bit more amenable to different
Open
things.
to a lot of different things.
But I'm
You're learning
open. But I'm
yourself.
open to a lot here too. And at 38 years old, I'm open to a lot, and I'm adaptable to things. But I also know things I'm completely unwilling to compromise on, and I'm not. And I know what's going to make me unhappy.
Yeah, and it's core values. It's that it's you to find. That's what friends are for, in the sense that the core values that we all share similar core values. I may go about it a different way, but when it boils down to it, I know that I can depend on my friends that I carry because I know. And then I have acquaintance that I spend time with, and they're not my core people. So I think that in a relationship, dependability is extremely important in the sense that I can depend on this person to be there when I need them, and I would hope that they can depend on me to be there when they need them.
Yeah.
But I don't need you to complete me. I need you to compliment me.
And that's, it's saying that too. You think about friends, because people want to be popular. We want to be known or know a lot of folks, have connections, have a squad, whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
So you think about in the gay community or in any community really that we're in here in Austin, where you go out and about, there are people who are like, oh, you give them a hug, give them a kiss, whatever. You see them and you acknowledge them, and you do that when, on just regular. But do you really know them? Because honestly, if I don't know your last name, if I ain't never been to your house, I don't know your mama and them in any way, shape, or form, like, we're not really friends. That's where it comes into here in Austin, because we do have a lot of people who are open to a lot of new folks, and fun people. And they come in, some people come in, but it's like, no, you're not my friends. And when people say, oh, I love you, no, you don't. I don't know you. I don't really know you.
But that's a superficial statement.
Exactly.
Again,
And I don't like
to me,
that.
do something that's kind just because you want to do it, not because I asked you to do it, is definitely a love language for me. And so that's why I said that people, it's almost like a, hey, how are you doing? Not really wanting to know how you're doing.
And not
People say
listening.
fine.
Yeah, not really looking for an answer, just looking for a greet,
Or the way you really know if people are really on your side or really good is when you are having a bad time, and when you are just going through things, whether it's a death, whether it's just a challenging time in your life, that's when you know.
We're in Kansas.
Yeah, we're no longer in Kansas, but so we're in East Pflugerville, and this is like a kind of a newish area because I'd never really been out here before.
We passed the BMX bike center.
Yeah, so you can get all that in Austin. It was like a park, like a huge park. I didn't even know what the name of that park was that we just went through.
Wednesday, we went to Queer Film Theory 101, because this is almost along the same lines. Happens once a month.
Peggy, be quiet.
It happens once a month at the Alamo Draft House, and there are professors who come up, and based on the theme of the people who set it up, they go up and they talk about films that best encapsulated that theme, about their queerness or whatever it is. And this one was Chosen Family.
Chosen Family.
Which I thought was neat. Luckily, I'm blessed enough where my family has accepted who I am and loves me, but not everybody has those in the queer community. And
even in like the straight community, I guess.
That's true too. But the Chosen Family, I think the Chosen Family theme really, in general, it goes deeper. Is where when you are having those tough times, like if Peggy called me and she's like, I don't want you to say nothing, I just want you to listen. And be like, okay, let me tell you what's going on. Okay. Or can you come and pick my hurt ass up from the hospital because I got a disc? The hell did you get inserted into your ass?
Oh my goodness!
Oh, I had that procedure. It was something. Shoot, I should
But someone that you can call, somebody who listens, someone who has the good times, the bad times. I'll be on your side forevermore.
Forevermore. I was like, good times and bad times. I'll be on your side for. Is it evermore?
I don't know. The Chosen Family. It is those people that. It's when you say we. Hey, we about to. You know who the we is. Like usually, people know. We coming. It's me and Peggy usually, no matter what it is.
I want to thank you guys because it's Thanksgiving month. I want to say thank you guys. I want to say I appreciate you, and that's why I thought my love language is appreciation. Because I personally, I don't give thanks enough. In my opinion, I really don't. Like that's why I'm always saying thank you to you. I'm always saying thank you to other people because I feel like I'm just here and nobody really like gets anything from me. That's the way I honestly feel.
Yeah, that seems weird. That's not my perspective.
Not even a little bit
at all. You just sent a "I love you" text the other day, just out of the blue, where you asked me how am I doing. Do you know how important that is? That's just to ask. it doesn't even have to give more than that. But just know somebody's out there thinking about
Yeah.
you, makes you feel like you're somebody and special.
Yes.
So that definitely is something you do often, and it doesn't seem fake. It doesn't seem disingenuous. It's very because some days I'm like, oh, good God, and then I get a happy text, and it takes me away, and I can respond back to you and go, I'm doing good. How are you? Or it's been a hell of a day. Thanks for asking. So I think that your perception of that, somebody lost a little red scooter, that's terrible.
That's the matrix, I think.
That's really random too.
I know, that was a
That
random
rascal.
little rascal. Where's Nana?
Where's Nana?
Sorry.
But like you gave me a gift. Like you always give me tips and tricks and things like that, and I use them. You don't think I?
Know-it-all. That's why.
Well.
I have a problem. Some people don't want my information.
Lord
I know
Jesus.
everything. I know a little bit about everything, nothing about everything. It makes no sense. I get it from my father. Thank you, Daddy.
But you're right, because it's your positivity that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And I know you're not fishing for this because that's actually not something you
Did you
do.
prompt for
You're
this?
terrible about that. You can't fake. You can't even be like,
Today.
I'm looking for a backhanded like
Well-
you. What?
Today, I was like, when we were walking out of the restaurant, I said, Morris is skipping. I was like, okay.
He was.
Oh, I
It's
was
definitely Thumper. He's Thumper.
Well, the trash can was so far away. I didn't want to run, so I just skipped to the trash
Yeah,
can.
but most
you
people don't skip. Even back in the day, and for someone, like you said, older person, it is rare to find somebody who's not like bitter and callous and just I hate this and that. I mean, shoot, I'm single. And I'm single, but I'm not like hating on men and calling them all kind of stuff. I just don't have a lot of tolerance for bull. And so it's rare to find someone else. It's a unicorn to find someone who can still be joyful regardless of what they've gone through, even when it's hard, to still find the joy in it. And that's very rare.
It was hard this week. Just a little. I'm gonna give y'all just a little bit of rundown. So this week was trying for me because I went through some job stuff, and the reason why I say thank you because just to have friends is there, and that's important because some people don't have friends. Some people can't talk to people. Some people can't open up to folks, and I feel like I can do that with both of you. At the restaurant, you were like, let me know what happened, what went on. And I'm going to be honest, no one really did that. Like, I mean, you did that kind of sort of, but I kind of felt like I don't want to just throw up on you my feelings. I want to make sure that we're good in a good place. But you were actively like, hey, let's do this. This guy over here, man, you've been so supportive. You're telling everybody I got a new job, and people are like, congratulations, and it makes me feel so good. So that's why I say thank you, you guys. Thank you both.
Got
you guys.
2 job offers.
Yes, that's a blessing. But that's yeah, we won't digress on that one. So Thanksgiving is, like I said, around the corner. People got a lot of plans going on. Christmas is actually around the corner too as well. Austin has some great Christmas stuff. If you check it out online, like the Zilker Park, the Christmas tree, the lights downtown.
What is that called?
It's the lighting of the Christmas
The
tree.
lights.
No,
It's,
not that. No, the Zilker Park stuff.
It's something of lights.
Trail of Lights.
Trail lights, yeah. So
And then there's the Mozarts. They have their symphony and light show. It's right there on the lake.
Turkey Trot is actually coming out soon
coming
as well.
out.
Yeah, the turkey trot.
So if you like Turkey Trot,
I think the lighting of the tree is the day after Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
it is.
I think so.
It is there.
Um,
Black Friday.
And it's free.
Black Friday is one of those things. It is such a sad thing to see when people, similar to the damn Popeyes chicken thing. People are fighting.
Oh!
People are fighting.
I haven't had the Popeyes.
You haven't had one? Had you had one?
I have no desire.
Justin Bieber says it's not all worth the hype.
It's not worth somebody getting stabbed, as they got stabbed earlier this
And
week.
they died.
And people are fighting in the drive-thru.
Over Popeyes. Over a chicken burger.
Chicken
Pretty much.
breast.
Yeah, I've seen that chicken burger, but it looks pretty thick. The
I
chicken.
don't care. It's
I-
irritating.
It's not. It's food. We
It's
shouldn't be
food.
stabbing somebody behind some food.
I want to get one.
Well, it's one of those things
I
where,
want to give me one of them.
which is fine. No, and go and do it. But my thing is, it's similar to. I'm gonna get real quickly political. Similar to people in the Trump train, right? A lot of things have to do with marketing, whether it be guerrilla marketing, direct marketing, taglines, etc. When you ask people why do they like something, it's like, oh, they basically spit out what someone has told them. They really inherently don't know. This whole Popeyes thing is like, it's just a hype that's built up.
Well, so the reason why was because of the Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. They went at odds for their burger,
Which is fine, but again,
I love Chick-fil-A.
why are you going to fight somebody? Why are you going to damage your vehicle? One woman was so hell-bent on someone not cutting in front of her, she's up against the pole, scraping the side of her car for a damn Popeye sandwich. That's absolutely ridiculous. And it almost turns me off to it.
It turns into a mob mentality.
A mob?
The same thing. Huh?
Mob?
Mob.
Okay, I thought you said mom.
No, mob. Mob mentality when it comes to behaviors. It's kind of like, and I'm going to go a little political on the Trump thing. Republican, Democratic doesn't matter. My thing is that just because they say what they say about people, you don't have to say it. And it's like the behaviors of some of the people that are Trump people wouldn't be normal in any other situation. It's sad, and that's what's going on with the chicken. So because of Trump, people are killing people in Popeye's chicken. Okay. I just did
that
Trumpism. That was a Trumpism.
But you know what? Because you know what? And that could be, it's like, oh yeah, that's right. And some people say, hell no, that's not right. Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah, I saw it on the news somewhere.
What's the news source? From the Popeyes Chicken Network.
Well, as soon as when it starts to back down, I'm gonna at least get a chicken.
Of course, that's just like going to the new release of a movie. I gotta wait till the crowds go down. I don't want to be dealing with it, especially a black movie. I'm sorry.
You don't like black movies?
No, I love black movies. I just don't want to go with a black audience. I know that sounds horrible, but y'all talk all throughout the movie.
Lord Jesus.
I need just like half of the people.
Which is
black.
so funny because my friend Peggy, she does not talk in movies.
No, I don't.
She talks all the time, as y'all can see. But in movies, she's just
she don't.
She's a good little church mouse in a movie.
I want to see the movie that I spent $14 on.
Yeah, you don't. But that makes Peggy. That's good.
Yeah, and I know that sounded like it was a stereotype that black people allowed.
But
it's true. I know. I can count at least 5 people that I went to a movie with, and they yelled in the movie theater. Or not, I don't want to say yelled, but they talked.
Scary movie.
Goodness.
Girl, I was talking to her the other day, and she said she did. Y'all had all this time before we sat down.
And then loud. I mean, loud. I can't hear the movie, and the movie theater's loud as it is. You can be loud too. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sorry, my black people.
Now we're at a YMCA, which Austin don't have a lot of YMCA's. This is driving. This is drive. We're going back to the car. Actually, where do y'all want to go next?
Eventually go around. I need a nap.
You need a nap? Okay.
I'm full of chicken.
So this is another part of I like games. You know how I love games. This part of the series is, what is your favorite part of Austin and why?
My favorite part of Austin is, it's everywhere really. Because I used to really love being on the water a lot, down on the lake.
Okay. Town
Lake, Lady Bird Lake, whatever. But because I live north, I can't really enjoy it as much.
Okay.
So being down on, whether it be Auditorium Shores, being down there, walking around the trail, running-ish around the trail, or being on the kayak, or stand-up, being there is one of my favorite things because it kind of encapsulates a lot of everything. Because you see people who are exercising. You see these great-looking people. You be like, man.
Like, I need to be there.
And then you'll see these elderly folks. You'll see these dogs. You'll see
I want to be like
kids.
That.
You'll see all types of people, homeless, wealthy, and everything in between, all in the same place. And it's just kind of this microcosm of Austin. And I love when it's all races and all ages. And it's just a good vibe.
Peggy, what about you?
I would say, like, going back to my old stomping grounds. I love the old houses in Austin, and that's usually around the 38th and a half, like on both sides, east and west, and driving through the neighborhoods that have those established trees or those cool little track houses. That's definitely my favorite, and that's most of that is central Austin.
Yeah.
I like the neighborhoods who haven't gone California.
California.
Well, what about you, Morris? Oh, I'm sorry, did I cut you?
No, I'm good.
Well, me, I love downtown. Downtown is what I love. If I could live in a high-rise downtown, I would do it. I would. You can have the house. Y'all can have the house. I'll live. I'll be like Green Acres. How the
Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
Yes, that's what I love about Austin, is that there's so many different places to go to.
I love the fact that we have restaurants that are owned by people who actually live here, not chain restaurants.
Live here and look like us.
Yeah.
What's that restaurant that you're talking about in Maynard that we need to go to?
Lily Mae.
Lily Mae in Maynard, Texas.
Woo-wee. I'm telling you, that's some good eating.
So that's probably where we're going next
Yeah,
month.
but so was this the breakfast place with
Breakfast bar.
The breakfast bar. Delicious.
Delicious.
I mean,
All right, well, we are almost done with the show. We are coming back to the original venue that we were at, and I want to say thank you for everyone out there who's encouraged us to have the show, because technically people have been asking, and we've been on hiatus for like a month and a half. Thank you for liking us. Thank you for joining us. Still like us on Facebook, Talk Around Austin. Still like us on Instagram. We're Talk Around Austin too as well there. And thank you, Peggy, for being our special guest. Yay, Peggy!
slow clap.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Slow clap. Okay. She deserves a big clap. Thank you to Keon. I want to call him Keon Sanders. Who is Keon Sanders?
He's related to
Deion Sanders was
I was
a
like,
football
he's
player.
related to Colonel?
No, Colonel Sanders.
Since we're on a chicken talk today.
Oh! We'll see you next time on Talk Around Austin. There we go.
Just
There
so
you go.
butch.